All right, hey, listen, it's your boy Dr. Hope, the trauma doctor. The trauma doctor is in the house. Listen, I want to come to you with another quick clip on trauma. I'm a traumatologist, I am a trauma crisis specialist, and I am a licensed brain health specialist and board certified integrative medicine provider. Listen, I want to come and talk to you again about trauma. You know, that's my work, that's my profession, that's my passion. I feel also that's my calling. But listen, one thing about trauma is trauma impacts the whole person, and that's what I want to talk about for a few moments. Trauma impacts the whole person. Number one, it impacts your neurology. Two, it impacts your psychology. Three, it impacts your physiology. Four, it impacts your spirituality. And then finally and fifthly, it impacts your biology. Let's talk about that for a few moments. So trauma, when I say neurology, that means trauma impacts your brain and your nervous system. It impacts your hippocampus, it impacts your amygdala, your thalamus, the different regions of the brain and your nervous system, like your autonomic nervous system, your sympathetic nervous system, your parasympathetic nervous system. So that's your neurology. Two, it impacts your psychology, which is your mind and your emotions and how your thoughts process information and how you regulate your mood. That's your psychology. Thirdly, it impacts your physiology, which means that you wouldn't believe this, but one of the things I look at when someone has a lot of dysregulation in their mental health and have been impacted by trauma, I look at their gastrointestinal issue, I look at their gut health. Because the gut is what we refer to as the second brain. You have millions and billions of neurotransmitters in your gut, and also 80% of your immune systems is in your gut. So it impacts your physiology, it impacts how you sleep, it impacts all those different things as far as indigestion and gas and bloating, all of that in your gut health. So it also impacts your physiology. Also, we look at inflammation. People who have high trauma stress have chronic and cellular inflammation. So that's your physiology. But then it also impacts your spirituality, which means trauma can get so deep and the level of brokenness can be so deep in a person's life, it can hit your soul. And then finally and fifthly, this is what a lot of people get really at all when I tell them that trauma impacts your biology, which means from a biological perspective, did you not know trauma can impact your genes and how it is expressed in DNA? It's called the science of epigenetics, which is that some of us are dealing with our grandparents' dysfunctions, and some of us are dealing with even our ancestors' dysfunctions. Did you not know that some of our ancestors' genes have been passed on to our genes? It impacts how our genes is expressed through DNA. It's called generational or intergenerational trauma. So when I say it impacts the whole person, it literally impacts the whole person. Have somebody ever told you that you remind them of your great grandfather who you never met? Because a lot of times we realize other people's trauma is transferred through us, through our genes, and we inherit some of those generational traumas. This is the reason why I say, as I close out, is that trauma may not be your fault, but it is your responsibility to heal from trauma, because if you don't, we bleed on people that didn't cut us. Hurting people hurt people. And for us to stop pushing and transferring our pain, our dysfunctions, and our disorders over to the next generation from our trauma, we got to start healing today to impact the third generation. Let me say it again. We got to start healing today so that we don't impact our third generation, our grandchildren and grandchildren who have not even been born yet. All right, this is a little lengthy. It was a little long, but it's all right. It was good for you. Trauma impacts your whole person. 1, your neurology. 2, your psychology. 3, your physiology. 4, your spirituality. And 5, your biology. But the important thing is we can heal. Just because trauma hit your history doesn't mean it have to rob you of your destiny. So I'm out. This is Dr. Hope, the trauma doctor. The trauma doctor is in the house, and I just want to let you know that trauma does more than impact your brain and your mind. It impacts the whole person. But this is the good news. If you start today to work on yourself and work on your healing journey and work on your healing process, finding you a doctor, finding you a therapist, finding you a licensed professional, getting you a support network, and start today and put in that work, you can be the best version of yourself by starting today. All right, this is Dr. Hope, the trauma doctor. Good to see you. Don't forget to check us out on The Unbreakable Show. Go to YouTube. We got our own channel, The Unbreakable Show with Dr. Hope. subscribe to us and join the movement of healing, and let's heal together. Take care. God bless.